Hello and welcome to episode 26 of Sudoku with Tsvetii. Hope that you are doing well wherever you may be. I hope that you are doing well. Anyways, we have already solved most of our ones already, which is crazy to believe that we clicked on the puzzle and have essentially been given all of our ones for the night. And of course I hit 2 on accident, so it looks like have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But anyways, our goal for today is, I suppose, relaxation and just learning to relax. I know that's very difficult for me. I don't know what it is for any of you listening or watching or twiddling your thumbs. I don't know. But I've always had a lot of difficulty relaxing. And I think that's just because I've always been high strung and I've tend to take things very seriously. For good and bad, and to my own detriment, I would suppose. But I suppose that's one of the things that I could work on going forward, is trying to be less serious. I mean, especially with more context. Agatha, I gave you a snack before I started recording, and now all of a sudden you are upset. Okay. Some people can just never be satisfied. Shout out Agatha, though. Anyways, we know 5 is up. She wants to get in my arm. All right. Well, this puzzle's going to go a little bit slower since we're going to have Aggie in our arm. Yes, ma'am. Good girl. Okay. We'll have a cat in one arm and my mouse in the other. I guess I'm playing a game of cat and mouse. A terrible dad joke already in the first 2 minutes of the video. Way to go, Tsvetii. Oh, baby. She just tucked her head into my arm, kind of like into the crease of my elbow almost. I have her like feet in my hand, and she has her little head tucked in my elbow. She's purring real loud. That's a good girl. Okay. Anyway, sorry for hitting the mic right there. But the goal for today is trying to learn how to relax. And trying to use that as a mechanism for other things. Allowing yourself to enjoy life maybe just a little bit. Agatha just looked at me like she just wants me to shut up. And she said, I would prefer if you just stop talking so that I can get some good and restful sleep. Isn't that right, baby girl? She's so spoiled. The poor girl, she's so spoiled. She acts like she works a 9 to 5. She doesn't. I mean, with how much she's in my content, she kind of does work a 9 to 5. She just makes herself, she appears whenever the little red button is on, which means that I'm recording, which means that she's got to make her money too. And that's a good girl. Okay. Next up. We got our 8s. I suppose the call to action for today is taking a little bit of time out of your day to relax a little bit. And I know most people don't have that luxury. But I suppose just in certain situations, take things slow to the extent that, taking things slow, and instead of rushing through things like a meal or walking to a class or getting into work, you're not just rushing or running into anything. You're just taking your time. And I feel like that would help me a lot more. I can't necessarily say for anyone else, but that would absolutely help me, just taking my time to do things. Oh, you poor girl. What's up, big girl? Agatha wants me to stop talking. You're doing so good, big girl. She is what, a year and a half old now? Oh, she's getting closer to 2 years old. Beautiful girl. She's like, I think she's almost like 5 pounds now. She's just a big old girl now. Not as big as her sister. Kiki is like 12 pounds of pure fat. And as we continue on and try to focus on this puzzle, you know, we can't really solve many of our threes here. So let's see. Well, we do know this could be a 4. The 4s could be all down there. We're missing the 3s as well, unfortunately. Let's see. I mean, we know this could be a 2, which... That could be a 2, that could be a 2, that could be a 3, that could be a 3, that could be a 3, and then 9. Be 9 and 9. So we didn't really learn anything there. Agatha, what are you doing, sweet pea? Poor girl. I assume this one will have to be a 3 or 4, naturally. And then 2 could also be here. But we know this one on the far right is 3 or 4. Which means this is 3 or 4. Which means this other number, which would what, be 7? Yeah. This number will have to be 7, which means 7 is up here. Girl. Poor little baby. She's just so tired. She's just so tired. Okay. Next we have solved that for just down to our 3 and 4. Which, and we have solved this down to 7 and 8 up here. We have a few over here, so this has to be potentially be a 9 and a 9. What else are we missing? We're missing 2, but so that'll just have to be a 2, and that'll be our 9 right there, which means this is our 9. This has to be a 3 or 4, and this has to be a 3 or 4. So we have started to limit down what it could potentially be. But we know 2. That has to be over here, naturally. Let's see. Yeah, we know 2 has to be down here. Can't really say anything for the 3 or 4. But we do know this 6 is here. So anything else? Let's go through the numbers real quick. We have all of our 1s. Our 2s are looking pretty good thus far. I mean, we know 2 has to be over here, so 2 actually has to be up here. Anything else? Can we extrapolate anything else from these 2s? I mean, we just know 2 could be there and there, technically. Anything with our 3s at this point? We just know 3 could be here at the bottom, which means 3 has to be at the top up here. So, after discovering that fact, yeah, that has to be here. Right, because we know 3 and 4 are right here. We know 3 has to be here or here, which blocks that, which means 3's on the bottom, that 3 is right there. That is true. And that is a fact that you can take to the bank. You can't cash it, though. It's an imaginary check. But it's worth the effort. Anyways, we know 4 has to be one of these 2. We know 4 has to be up here. Not really any other indication about 4s over here, unfortunately. Get it? Unfortunately. Our 5s are completed. Strangely enough, 5s have been treating me well recently. So that's always good. We know 6 has to be down here. We know 6 has to be one of these 3 up here. But we do know 6 is over here on this far right corner. You can just get in my lap, girl. There you go. Good girl. My arm was starting to get tired. My bicep was on fire because I was just holding her up all in one hand. Oh, we know this will be a 7. Because it's up there in the corner, which means this will be a 7. Which means 8 is there and 7 is there. Voila. Oh, baby girl. Poor little girl. All she just wants is some cuddles. The world's just so hard on a little kitty like her. Sorry for punching the microphone again. Oops, I did not mean to put that as a definitive 3, but I know 3 could potentially be over there, and those are only 2 places that a 3 could be. Okay. We're missing 2, 8, and 9 in here, which doesn't really make things easier. And I'm kind of distracting myself from the point. We know that'll be could be a 2. And what is our other number up here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 8. So, 2. This has to be a 2 or an 8. Same as that. I mean, we know this cannot be a 2, but it could be an 8. And then what else are we missing in this? A 9? Yes. So 2, 8. So that means 9 is down there. Which means these could technically be 9 as well. This has to be a 2 or an 8. And then this has to be a 4 or an 8. Which means 8 cannot be any of these. Okay. So we know 8 cannot be any of these naturally. Oh, well, 8 has to be there. So that will have to be a 2. Which means this is our 9, this is our 2. And then we do have 2 and 3, so this has to be our 3. The 2 and the 9, the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has to be our 8. And this has to be our 9. Oops. Hit a right click there. Scared myself a little bit. But we are still looking pretty good. Well, we did that'll be a 4, 3, 3, 6, 4, 2, 8, 2, 9. Actually, I can't prove that's a 9. No, I can. Never mind. Haha. Joke's on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know 8 has to be there. It has to be a 6. That's our 6. Missing a 4, which means that'll be 4. That's a 2. And that's a 3. How about that? Pretty quick solve today. Along with the distraction and Agatha jumping up and cuddling for attention. Anyways, I will catch you in tomorrow's episode. And I hope that you have a wonderful night. Stay safe, take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Cheese it. Let's go.